All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Aashish. I'm the product manager at SAAS Labs and also the community lead at 100 Days of Feature Request program. Great to have you here. Some of you who showed up on a Saturday evening, you're the true entrepreneurs of the world, so to speak, and builders and creators right here, who are very curious to know of what's happening in the SaaS world. So a little bit about why we here, why we are here. Just around 3 days back, we started this program called as 100 Days of Feature Requests, where we will get 10 brands to come and give problem statements for product managers, developers to solve and send feature requests and code submissions to them. This will be a program which will span around 100 days. There's a lot of opportunities for you to also get hired into the brand, full time, freelance, also get a lot of cash rewards throughout the whole program. So I won't go much towards it. I would like to introduce our first brand, which is currently running, and the founder of that, we have Deepak from Habitate here, right? So we'll be putting more details about what the program is all about in the chat. We have Sneha from the team for you, to reach out to. So here we are today to do a very short session on how to build minimum lovable product, minimum valuable product. So I would like to welcome Deepak from Habitat to give his journey. So Deepak, maybe a little bit about intro again, because again we might have new people here who might not have seen you. We might have people from the cohort. So just give a little bit of intro. The stage is yours today to tell your journey, and yeah, take this aside.
Hey, thanks, Ashish, for this wonderful introduction. It's really great to be part of this show. And I'm Deepak. I'm one of the founders at Habitate. It's a SaaS company based out of Chennai, and we help brands build online community. So it's a tool that you go ahead and customize your community, and then you integrate that with your website, where your customers can engage in discussions. They can create new posts. They can comment and they can see what's the events coming up, couple of things. So yeah, that's bit about me. And today I'm going to be I've been asked to talk on the minimum valuable product. So I prefer to call it minimum lovable product.
Yeah,
uh,
that's good, right? That's fine. Yeah,
so let me go ahead and share my screen. um,
sure.
So this presentation is for you if you are trying to start something, if you are building a SaaS product for yourself, or pretty much I think the slide covers for any kind of product or startup that you are trying to start in the first place. So when you say minimum lovable product, there's a lot of things that goes into deciding what is it that you're going to build. Because when you start up something, you have a limited crunch of everything. You have limited number of time, you have limited people working on it. If you're just starting up, you may not have a lot of financially backed around it. So every minute and everything that you have really counts, and you have to make the best out of it. So there's a lot of thought process that goes into deciding what is it that you're going to build first. Today I'm going to be picking up like key things that you probably have to look at. Of course there are a lot of other things that you need to consider, but I'm going to give you like a basic framework, a layout to begin with. What is it, how can you start thinking about building a minimum lovable product? So this is pretty much like the journey looks like if you're building anything, right? So you basically have an idea, and then you try to validate by talking to people. That's the best kind of validation. The moment you have an idea, you go and talk to people. You ask them, is this something that you might want to use? You ask about their problem. You identify who is it that might be finding value in your product. For example, in our case, Habitate, we found that it is going to be the businesses that is going to create communities using us. And then by talking to people, we nailed it down. We found then you put the whole Venn diagram and find it out, what kind of folks you are and what kind of people you want to work with. For example, Habitate, for us, we prefer to work with companies that are really like fun, and they would love to try new things. In Mostly, these kind of companies is what we prefer to. So we took the idea, we spoke to a lot of people, we understood what is it that they like, what are the tools that they probably already using, because any problem, people might be already trying to solve it with whatever that is already existing in the market, right? So we you go and talk it out them, and then you get into the stage of building your product, right? Many companies have started their MVPs with very small things, things that don't scale at all. Many companies started their MLPs with just Excel sheets and Airtable forms, or Google forms. That is how many businesses have formed. I'm not sure if you're aware of the company Flexible. Started with just Google forms, and now it has crossed crores in revenue. If you I mean, the founder is very reachable, you can go ahead and get in touch and with them as well. So, and then you go about start thinking about what is my MLP. So first I want to talk about what is it that you get by thinking out MLP. Why not go ahead, spend my 6 months of my time building the best product, however, rather than why should I go out down this lane? Why should I think about building something that is so small and easy to begin with? Because if you look at business, customers tend to buy the best quality products, right? They want everything in the first place. That is what the market says. So it doesn't really make sense when you say, let me go and build something that is small and try to sell it, because people are not going to buy it, right? So I'm going to first have to tell you the importance of thinking about MLP. So when I said, the other kind of thinking, let me go ahead and build the best kind of product, I have a news to break it to you. You may never actually build it. Okay, there is no such thing as the best, the perfection doesn't really exist. The product roadmap is a continuum that exists forever. It's a continuum. It starts with a place where you have absolutely no idea of what you're trying to do, and eventually you try to get to a point where you understand what you're doing, what people want. Is there a match, product market fit? That is, of course, yes, you might be able to attain, but will you be able to make it the best product? It's a continuum process. It goes for on and on. And that is why MLP is a great place to start. MLP gives you the first customer, right? You are able to make something, and then you are able to show something, and it provides value to somebody, and somebody is ready to go ahead and start using it in the first place. When somebody starts using it, it starts giving you the validation of your idea, of your product. Have you built the right kind of features? It tells you a lot of things that you might have otherwise kept assuming, right? This is what people want. So it gives you a n number of facts that you may not be aware of already. And then third, the most important part I would say the MLP gives you is a sense of accomplishment, right? When if you are a maker, if you are trying to make something, it's a very tedious and a long journey ahead of you. If you're trying to start a new company, you're trying to hustle through your freelancing, whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's a very long journey out there, and you need these small wins to keep motivating you to wake up the next day and go ahead and try it out again. So when you build an MVP kind of architecture, a small blocks kind of thing, you are really giving you a chance to celebrate many small wins. And of course, you're able to share these small wins with your customers. If you go ahead and make the best goddamn product ever, let's say you do it, you have one chance to go and tell people about it, right? You go into the internet and say, I have made this. But you do a lot of MLP kind of architecture, you celebrate the small win within you, as well as you are able to express it to the internet, and you are able to tell a lot of people, this is how I'm doing. And in a way, you're also inviting them to be part of your journey, your product making journey. Now that we have established why is that we need to go for an MLP, now the factors I think on how to decide what to build as an MLP. Right. First, I think it is important to break your entire product into many core blocks. right? For example, in the case of Habitate, it's a community platform. For us, the blocks could be a sign up, okay, somebody has to be signing up, and then writing a new post, and then leaving a comment. All these are small blocks. Analytics is a small block of it. um, Inviting a new customer, right? So these are, if you are familiar with the agile model, these are small stories as such. And then the second thing that we consider is a full cycle, right? No matter how small you build, the user flow has to be a complete circle. For example, when we built the first Habitat version, which we launched almost 16 months ago, uh, I'm just realizing it's been that long. So when you release your first version, all it had was user was able to sign up, create a new account, and they can write a new post, they can leave a comment, and then they log out. There was pretty much nothing else, right? But we decided the core blocks as such, the core functionality. If a community has to exist, there has to be a way for somebody to write something and somebody to comment something. If this works, right, the platform as such, you'll be able to go ahead and build a community. And then it has to have a full cycle. There is a sign up process, and then there is a logout, right? The logout has to be built, and the sign up has to be built, and the journey of writing a post, maybe leaving a comment, has to be built. If you think about, let's say you go other way of thinking, let me go and build the best sign up page, and then you have a text editor which is awesome, you have comments, you made all your emojis and reactions, everything is there, but then there is no logout, right? Then that's an incomplete product. You don't need the emojis in the first place, but you need the sign out in the first place. So you decide whether the journey is a full cycle. The third is you find the core blocks which are incrementally you can progress, right? For example, when we build the first text editor, there was no option to upload images in them, but still it's a text editor. You can write, you can style the content, you can make italics. And then the second version, people were able to upload images, and in the third version, people were able to embed videos in them, right? And in the first version, people were only able to upload things, there was nothing else. And now if you look at Habitat, people can react 5 different emojis to it, right? These are incremental progress. The conceptual idea is we need to allow people to write something. How effectively you do it is something you incrementally keep upgrading. So if you take a look at a block, right, each of these blocks can have a version control. You might have aware of the whole product having versions, like Habitat version 1.1, 2.4, everything. For an MLP kind of architecture, every block can have its own V1. For example, our text editor has its own version curve, version 2.3, version 2.4, while the product could be on the version 1 or 2. Each of these blocks carry its own upgrade, and based on the usage of our customers, what is it that they want are maximum utilizing, each of these blocks go through a separate update curve. This helps you with couple of things, because when you are a creator, tons of ideas come into your head, and believe me, when you go out and talk to people, people will ask n number of things, right? Out of which they probably might only need 10% of it. Most of the time they don't use the 90% of the features more often than not, right? So your intention is to find the 10% of the features, right? So and for which you make these tiny blocks. You make the first version of those blocks. Some you take a text editor and make the most simple text editor that you can make. You want to invite people, you make the simplest way to invite people. For example, in the beginning you were able to invite only one person at a time. That's okay, right? You make that. And if enough people are, let's say people are keep clicking on that invite button, let's say 50, more than 50 times a day, then that people are inviting more than 50 people in a day. It's better to give a larger space and allow people to upload and CSV or something of that kind. We can improvise on it. So you break these blocks, you release them out, and track the user response, what customers click, and how do they make use of it, and improvise those tiny blocks over a period of time. So if you look at our product, this is what our product looked like. This was not our first version though. So this is something I think post the July of 2020 we came into this. I suppose. No, I think this we came into September or October. Yeah. So if you look at it, it has the functionalities. You could see the list of channels on the left. That is a post. So pretty much what you need for a community works. In our case, our product, vision was one thing. We wanted to make sure this community platform sticks onto your website, because that is what differentiates Habitate from Discord, Slack, and WhatsApp. So when you build on Slack, Discord, it's not plugged onto your website. It's a third party platform. What happens is all the data that goes into the community belongs to that particular third provider and not you as a business. It is okay if you are trying to build a passion based community, you can build wherever you want. But if you are a brand that is trying to build a community, you want control over the content, you want the SEO benefits out of it, and you want to control which content is indexable, who can write what. So which for us the core functionality was that this product has to be integrated into whatever it is that you do. So when we release our feature, it contains few things. People can log in, people can create a new post, they can comment, they can sign out, and then the final thing is they can put it onto their custom domain. Every other feature is something that we release later. With these minimal features, we I think we built this in a span of 30 days time, and we landed on our first paying customer right in the next couple of days after we launched, right? And that is our first validation. We understood that yes, it does make sense for brands to have a community on their website. They do not prefer Slack when it comes to brand communities. Once we had the validation, we worked with them, we saw their user actions, what is it they do, right? When I think their community like grew up, it grew up to like 7,000 members, 8,000 members, and then we saw what was actually happening, and we kept improvising these tiny blocks. While we improvised them, we were able to land on the next set of 4 5 customers, right?
Uh, we have
Eventually
a we have a question also, Deepak. If you look to the Q&A section, it says how to find which blocks to build in V1.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to see the questions anyway.
The question from Jay is how to find which blocks to build in V1.
Right. So again, like I said, there are a lot of things that you are supposed to consider. One, you need to go ahead and talk to a lot of people, and you need to find the core functionalities that, like I said, it is required. For example, when we said it's a community building, community, as long there is somebody is able to write, comment, and reply, that is more than enough to build a community. Everything else that people ask for, right? Let's say they want to change the colors of it, we want to change the themes, is a luxury. When you trying to build your V1, you don't think about luxury, you think about things that are absolutely necessary. And if possible, you try and look at things that the unique idea or the perspective that you have that the others don't have. It may not always be a feature. When people often say what is your differentiation in the market, people initially start thinking what is it that a feature that I can build. Let's say I'm trying to compete with the Airmeet doesn't allow people to pay money with each other in the application. Let me go ahead and build an Airmeet an alternative with an option to pay money. Now I have a differentiation, now I'll have a different business. It doesn't work that way. To have a differentiation in the market, if it's a feature only differentiation, I'll tell you what, there's going to be 100 other folks who are going to start a company just like you, right? And they might go ahead and build something that you don't have, and they might call that as a competitor to yours. And at that point in time, you may not like what they sound like, right? So when you want to start a new company and you want to differentiate in the market, you start with a product philosophy, right? And that is how you differentiate across whatever it is that you do, right? So when we started Habitate, our philosophy was that to maintain utmost simplicity. We were ready to trade off many things for the sake of simplicity. We might not have built a couple of features into the product. Some of our competitors might have those bit more complex functionalities in them. We would have traded off them in exchange for the simplicity that the product provides. If you are a customer who wants a lot of things in the product, you have to go to one of our competitors. If you are one of who loves simplicity and the user experience, you come to us, and that is absolutely okay with us, right? You don't build something for everybody. You choose whom you're going to build it for, and you decide your product philosophy, things that you like. And that's why you start a company in the first place. You don't like the way things are in the market, you want to do it on your own way. So you put your philosophy into it and stand by it. So when you build your V1, you take this philosophy, and then you decide what are those core functionalities that you think is more than enough to say this works, right? If you're building a social media, let's say you're building a social media management tool, all you need to do is a feature where people can upload files and then people can download them. The password protection, everything you can do later, right? You first give them an option to upload and download, and then you add the sense of your product philosophy. My philosophy is like my product will look like, so simple. Then you make it so simple. So continuing with my presentation, this is our new interface. Like you see, it has that, improvisation from what I showed in the previous screen, right? Previously, it was only, you could see here. Let me go back there. You could see there was likes, only likes was out there. And if you could see in the new version, people can react to them, right? People can give emojis, and now what we even have is all these, 5 emojis can even be customized to the brand needs. They can upload their own kind of emoji. So the features kind of, improve over a period of time and helps you. And as you could see on the screenshot on the left, we have the, lock symbols, which means private boards are in place. These are all, incremental values that you continue to make. I want to leave this, presentation with one final thought. I think it's very important, and it has, helped me and, a lot, which is better doesn't always mean building a new feature. Sometimes it could also mean that, you are removing something out of it, right? Removing also makes something, let's say you take, Jira. I suppose most of you in here are aware of what Jira is. Jira is a project management tool. And there are people who absolutely love the tool for everything that it provides, lots of functionalities it gives you. And there are a segment of people who find Jira to be confusing. Maybe you can go ahead and take Jira, remove whatever it is that people don't use, make a minimalistic version of it, and you might attract a certain amount of customers who find Jira to be confusing. They want something simple to start off with. So better doesn't always mean new feature. It's about, it might sometimes mean that, you are removing something as well. Yeah, that's it from my side, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deepak. That was great. Uh, this is what we like, right? Really short, crisp content which can just go into people's minds and they can just go ahead and take it away. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this out of your busy time. So guys, whoever is here, uh, if so, again, just coming back to why we're here, we have started the cohort for Habitate, where they're given two problem statements for developers and product managers to solve through the next 4 days to come. So if you want to come and contribute to the program, there's a lot of rewards as well, for and also an opportunity to grow and learn your skills with a cohort. So please feel free to join the community where we are hosting this program, and we can definitely help you get in. Right. So the community link is already. I'm going to put it here again. The PPD, yes, will be shared. If you are interested to primarily contribute to Habitat, please fill up the brand interest form in the community, and we will get you to a private channel where you can speak to Deepak more about his journey, talk a bit more of the problem statements, ask any question that you might have. And yeah, so we'll be having more of these sessions as we move forward through the program. A little bit about Sava Labs as well. We are API and an SDK which provides passwordless and OTP-less authentication, which can be integrated with just 6 lines of code to your product. And it will primarily help you reduce your bounce rates, improve a lot of user onboarding, through device-based authentication. So feel free to check out more about Sava Labs if you're a developer or a product manager who is struggling with, who has your users struggling with OTPs, and spending a lot of money on forget passwords and forgetting OTPs from your customers. We can definitely help you solve that problem. So thank you so much for being here today, Deepak. This was great. We will see you again at our conclusion of the Habitate cohort and see what these guys, these talented people, have done. Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
looking forward to it. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the rest of the people, what you can do is we're going to end the session, but you can go and be part of the tables. We have our team, Sneha, who will be there to answer any questions possible regarding the 100 days feature request program, Sava Labs, or if you just want to, talk about what you do with us. So I'm going to end the webinar, but you can go to the networking zone and the table zone and hang around, network, and also talk to Sneha. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend.